Hey, hey, beautiful people. Welcome to Honeypot Doula Podcast. I am your host, Tiffany the Doula. And on this podcast, we talk about all things birth. Y'all, I am so excited today. I have a very, very special guest, and you'll understand why I'm so excited. I have Miss Talise, the home birth queen, in the building. Look, I need some hand claps. Welcome, queen. Welcome.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, it is so nice to have you here. So, for the people that don't know that are listening, I'm just going to give them a rundown so they can kind of understand what's going on here. Okay. So, Talise, the home birth queen, is from Atlanta, Georgia, a wife, mother of 7 children, author, and a full-time homemaker. Her book, Home is Where the Birth Is, the stories of her 6 births, home births, and how you can do it too, is based on her firsthand accounts with home birth, breastfeeding, midwives, doulas, breech babies, twins, and unassisted labor and delivery. Talise now uses her birth experience and expertise to help empower women as a natural birthing, breastfeeding, and postpartum care advocate. Talise, oh my God, queen. Honey, hats off to you. That's all I got to say.
Thank you.
So just to get started, like probably what everybody would want to know is, can you have a pain-free birth?
Yes,
Is it possible?
you can. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And yes, you can. I think where it all begins is in your mind. So
Mhm.
oftentimes, well, I don't know any woman personally who parents weren't raised in this society. So in this
Yeah.
society, all the movies and TV shows talking about pregnancy or birth, it's a traumatic experience. It's painful. You're squeezing
Yes.
the man's hand. People, falling down to the ground because it hurts so bad. And then from that seed that's planted, then all of the people, your aunts, uncles, mom, grandmother who were at the hospital, they
Mm-hmm.
say, oh, it was so painful because it was a
Yep.
painful experience. And so they passed that down to you saying, well, yeah, it's painful. Yeah, birth is painful. And so it's that seed is
It's in the
already
mind.
there.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So the first step is to reprogram your mind to say,
There you
oh,
go.
painful can be pleasurable. You can have an orgasm while you're giving birth. You can
Yes,
be
ma'am.
smiling. You can be calm and relaxed. Also changing your language. So instead of saying pain, saying it's pressure.
Yes.
If you say, man, my knee hurts, automatically you'll feel pain. But you say, man,
Uh-huh.
I'm just
Uh-huh.
feeling some pressure, it completely changes your mindset on what you're feeling.
I
Same
totally
thing.
agree.
Same thing with instead of using contractions, saying waves,
Yep.
because contract, you're thinking about something that's getting tight and tight.
That's
And
funny
with
you say that. I use pressure waves with my clients. I tell
oh
them pressure
good.
waves. Yes.
Yes, yes. So that
Wonderful.
gives you a completely different mental thought. If you're imagining you're just on a wave going in and out, that's a completely different thought. So that's the first step.
Uh-huh.
Then protecting yourself. So just as you're pregnant with your baby, you're also mentally pregnant too. You have to completely protect yourself. So if you're saying I want
Mm-hmm.
to have a smooth and beautiful home birth, and someone says, oh, as soon as the starts, cut that off completely and totally. Cut off that
Yep.
conversation,
Yep.
cut off any shows, cut off any kind of things that are not confirmation and confirming what you're doing.
Yes,
Um
ma'am. Yeah, I
and
agree.
then also having doing physical work, so walking, doing stretching,
Mm-hmm.
doing perennial exercises when you're getting close to it, your diet, making sure you're drinking enough water when you're close to
Yes.
the end, eating pineapples and drinking okra water and eating
Yes.
okra. So it's a whole entire thing. It's not just saying you know I'm gonna have a smooth birth, and poof, it happens. There's work
you gotta
and
work. You gotta work
exercises
for
that
it.
you got to do too. So even when you are in labor, moving and doing different stretches while you're in labor, like utilizing a birth ball, and also what I like to practice is called hypnobirthing, where while you're pregnant, being mindful of your breath and you being in control over what's going on versus what you're feeling. So like a lot of people like to do the ice test where you keep a cube of ice in your hand and breathe through it as the ice melts. And of course that's not like labor, but it's just a little taste.
Right.
Like if you can do that, that's a good step.
I like that.
Going.
I like that.
To keep going. And also visualizing. So seeing how you want your birth to go.
Visualization. Okay.
We know that, life changes and things don't always go how we want, but at least be prepared to a certain extent. So if it does go that way, you're like, okay, exactly how I envisioned it. Every day, being mindful and having affirmations up and visualizing and seeing how you want your birth to go.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love all of that. The reprogramming of the mind is so essential. I love that so much. What are the pros to having a home birth? Because I seen your video. You sent me the video in private. And I watched your video and I was like, ooh, I wish I could do all my births over again. I wish I could, just so I can experience that right there. But what are the pros for you?
For me, my number one pro is safety. Yes. And so I don't have to worry about my husband doing me any harm or my children or in my past, my midwives or doulas doing me any harm. I felt completely safe. And when you are in labor, the last thing you want to be thinking about is anything except just giving birth to your baby. You want to be able to be completely vulnerable and relaxed. And the alternative, well, it's not, I wouldn't even say alternative. Something we've been told we should do is a hospital birth. And I've never visited the hospital and been like, woo, yeah, I'm so happy to be at the hospital. Like even visiting friends who've had babies, I've been like, oh God, I don't want to go to this hospital. Like when y'all gonna be home? Because I don't want to come up there. I hate going to the hospital. It's cold, it's sick. But you asked me what's the pros. So the pros are you get to be relaxed. You get to have who you want there. You get to have who you don't want to not be there, be there. You get to control the physical environment. So how do you want it set up? Do you want lights? Do you want candles? Do you want the TV? Do you want a lot of people? Do you want your children there? Do you want music playing? Do you want to actually have your baby in water? Because with a pro of home birth is that you can give birth in a water pool, tub, or whatever, where your baby is in the water.
Right.
Another pro, you get to just get in the bed after. You don't have to go anywhere. You just can get right in the bed. Right. And you don't have to worry about anybody harassing you all night long. Get in the bed and can get some rest. Baby.
Are we just coming to do some things to you?
You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about advocating for yourself, fighting for what you want, and having a squad to say she said she don't want that. You don't have to do all that. It's just peaceful, it's relaxing. Absolutely. You don't have to worry about somebody trying to pressure you to get a vaccine or whatever else that you don't want to have, that you said, this is my plan and this is what I want to do.
Right.
So it's just, I like to say, how would you like to wake up? And it's also a wonderful place for your baby to come into the world. So I like to say, how would you like to wake up in the morning? Would you like a marching band and somebody opening the blinds like, get up,
right.
Or
turn on lights.
Would you like, right. Or would you like somebody gradually opening the blinds and beautiful music and your family around? Oh, good morning.
You get to keep the placenta without any problem. For an organ that your body created.
You can have pictures taken You can have a video of your birth
That's
without
right.
asking permission.
Yeah,
Hiding
permission,
your
all this
phone.
permission. Right.
So it's the way women have been doing it for millions of years. This hospital thing is a new phenomenon. And so it's just a natural way to be as relaxed as possible, which also helps combat against any problems because you're relaxed, the baby's relaxed. It's just, what are the pros? What aren't the pros? It's just it's the best thing ever to be at your family.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I totally agree. So me personally, I want to know, I need a walkthrough of the twins. You should have known that was coming. I need a walkthrough. What happened? Like, how was the pregnancy? How was the labor? What happened?
So what happened was I got pregnant with my twins shortly after I had my son. So I had them when they're born in July, he's born in September. So they're only like, they're very close. And so people are like, well, can you tell you was that much bigger? I'm like, no, because I just was pregnant. So I was like, my body's just already know what to do. My boobs are already ready. I was still breastfeeding. So it was like, I couldn't tell a difference. And in fact, I had a doula at that time. And she gave me belly massages every time she came over. And she was very massaging my belly. Like she wasn't shy or anything. And she said she never felt no two babies. But I do know that sometimes one of the babies will hide or always be hiding. So I had no clue. Now, looking back, I had the worst back pain with those twins than I ever did with anybody. Like most of my pregnancy, I slept sitting up on the couch because my back was just, it was hurt so bad, but it was two people in there.
two little ones.
So when I went, another clue was when I was in labor, usually the time will go when you have a wave will go from like 10 to 9 to 5. It'll count down, but these were all over the place. Like it wasn't consistent, but I could feel that I was getting closer because this was my third birth, and I'm used to paying attention. Oh,
hey, we got the queen in the building, y'all. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. I'm traveling. I'm in another time zone, so I was off with the timing here, but I was glad I didn't miss everything. Y'all doing good. Keep going.
Well, I'm so glad you can just make it on for a moment. Thank you so much. She's giving me the first-hand account on the twins. So yes. Talise, you didn't find out until you were actually in labor that they were twins?
No, I didn't find out till an hour later after I had the first one. She had been wrapped up. I breastfed her. She was laying on the bed, everything irie until it's an hour later. I'm still feeling like rushes and all my placentas came out pretty fast. And so I'm still, my doula's like, well, just push. And she told me at one point, she was like, she thought it was another baby in there. And so my husband came back and where I was, and she was like, well, just pick her up and let her squat. So he picked me up and went under, dropped me down to the squat. Out flies 2 placentas and 2 little chicken legs and a whole baby.
The 2 little chicken legs. Oh, that's second baby number 2 came out breech.
Yes, both of them were breech. In fact, the first one came out hiney first. The doula was like, "Oh, I see her booty. Just wait, and you got to take your time." And I was like,
"Wow!"
She's like, and so my husband was like, "Okay." I was like, "Well, you got to lock eyes with me because this is new."
How was that, Arsallaan? How was that for you?
Indescribable is the best term to use it. Because I was tired. I was exhausted. I mean, we tried to fill up the birth pool, and in this particular birth experience, the birth pool didn't get filled up. Or no, wait, the birth pool did get filled up on this one, but I was just exhausted. I filled the pool up. There was a lot going on. Like even now, I can't. It's hard to remember. I was doing so much. I sat down and went to sleep. Me and I think I was holding my son. We went to sleep on the couch.
Uh-huh.
And then I was awakened and told to come in there and help. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, what? There's nothing else to do. Just sit down. It's over with. And then
Oh
she's
my
like, the
goodness.
dude was like, no, you need to come help her. I'm like, help her do what? It's over. So I'm holding her by the arms, and like she said, she squats down, and some more legs come out, and my knees get weak, and I almost drop her because I'm like, this is not real. I said, this is a prank, and I don't do pranks. Who's recording this? I was like, what? What's happening here? But sure enough, a whole nother baby came out. Now, when the baby come out, I've got to, do some techniques. I feel like, to get that stuff out their mouth. I don't know what it's called, baby. You know what it's called.
Yeah, uh-huh.
I had to pull that stuff out, and I'm just like, leave this. Yeah. So I was in this complete and utter shock, but it was a beautiful shock. It was a beautiful feeling, because I'm like, wow, 2 for 1. I had a free baby coupon.
Wow. Oh my goodness. I could just imagine how y'all felt in that moment. Oh my goodness. That's amazing. That is amazing. So, well, you said you had a doula. Okay. So you had a doula for the twins, and the twins are what number?
They're 3 and 4.
3 and 4. Okay. That's what I thought. Because you got 5 girls and 2 boys, right?
Yes.
Okay. So with the doula, so did you do a birth plan like with her? And then like, what's your idea of a birth plan?
Well, so with my first 2, I had a midwife and doula, and with the twins, I just had a doula, and the last 3, it was just me and my husband. Okay. And I always had a birth plan because I wanted me to be clear on what I wanted. I want my husband to be clear on what I wanted, and see if there's some things he might want because he's going to be participating. When I did have midwives and doulas, I wanted them to be clear on what we wanted. And those kinds of things are like what was important to me was when the baby comes out, don't tell me what it is. If you see it as the midwife or doula, or even my husband, unless I ask him, don't tell me. I want to see. I want to be like, that's very important to me. Some people, want it absolutely quiet when the baby comes out. Like, so they, you have to say things like that. Some people want to have water and snacks, and they want whoever's around to be very hands-on. Some people want a birth pool, so they want to know, okay, well, and you know what? Also, this helps you prepare your list of things that you need to get. Okay. So if you want a water birth, we put on the list. I need to have a birth pool. If you want snacks, let me hold the phone.
Hold the phone. You shaking. We feel like the Blair Witch Project. Hold the thing still so we can. Keep saying.
Okay, hold on. Oh,
it's like let me prop it up here.
Okay, is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, perfect.
Now I gotta stop laughing. Okay, so yeah, but if you want a midwife or doula, because if that's some people that you want at your birth, then I need to interview people, or find out who is compatible with me and my spouse and my children, if all those people are going to be there. Right. What kind of music do I want? What kind of pressure assistance do I want? So instead of pain assistance, what kind of pressure assistance? Because then, I might want to get a birth ball, which is really exercise ball, or I might want to get a stool, or I might want to get the rope. Like, what kinds of things would you possibly need that might make your birth beautiful? Do you want, music playing? Right. Okay, so now I need to make me a birth music playlist. Yeah. So it's just being specific as possible, and at the same time using that birth plan as you're visualizing while you're pregnant to be able to help you achieve the birth that you want.
Right. Okay. Wonderful. Yeah. Birth plan definitely comes in handy. Some people think it's just for the hospital, and no, it's good to have it for home too, because you got to know what you want. You got to understand what's gonna make you comfortable in the end, and make everything go flow. Okay, so I have a question for. Okay, am I pronouncing it right? Can you pronounce your name for me?
Arsallaan.
Arsallaan, got it. Okay.
Yeah, it's real easy. I always give people a cheat code they can use. Whenever you want your hair done, your natural hair done, we say don't go to their salon, come to our salon.
Oh, look at that.
And that's the best way to remember it, Arsallaan, you know?
You are funny. Oh my goodness. Okay, Arsallaan, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a question for you. So
Okay.
as the husband, as the partner, and the like biggest like support system right there, what is your role? Like walk me through. Like you can pick a birth. Like what do you do? What is your role?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I thank you for asking it. You mentioned it in the best way. It's a support person. Whoever's got their mic on, just mute it while I talk so we don't get a reverberation. It's an absolutely imperative to have support people, whoever it is, right? Birth is a team sport, and I try to encourage men to understand that it's not just, oh, that's just something women do. It's all on women. It really takes a birth team. Now, it can be whoever you put together on that team, but it's a collective effort. So I'm a part of that team, right? And so the things that I would do is going to be whatever she's asking for in the birth plan. It's my responsibility to make sure that she has those things. So she'll give me the plan, but that doesn't mean she's going to go get all the things, right? So I'm making sure that she's not having to worry about, does she have everything on the supply list? Whatever's on the list, I can get the things on the supply list. Then I'm setting the things up in a way that I believe is going to be most efficient for me and the team to gain access to it, because she's going to be in labor. She's not going to be able to go and pick up everything. So I arrange whatever room or space that we're going to be in for the birthing to know where all the items are, right? Whether it's the coconut water and snacks, whether it's the different things for after the baby comes out, whether it's towels and just making sure that it's arranged in a way that I know where everything is at. So when someone asks, I know where it's at. There's many times during labor that a woman might be going through the waves and experiencing the rushes, and she's not able to really talk in that moment. So someone might be looking for something, and they may want to get to it quickly. I've got to know where all those things are. All the heavy lifting, arranging where the birth pool is going to go, filling up the birth pool. That water can get heavy, right? Setting the lights, setting the scene. See, the woman's done, 95% of all the work. Me setting up the scene and arranging the space is the least I could do, right? And so, and that's just the day of the birthing, right? But there's so much more throughout the entire time. In the lead up, right? And so it's my responsibility to make sure that I don't care what she wants to see on TV. If I know it's something she shouldn't be watching, put the brain in my child, I'm making sure that I turn it off, right? If I don't care what craving she has, if I know that it's something that she shouldn't have for the goodness of herself and for the baby, I'm going to set the boundaries and say, no, let's find an alternative, right?
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Craving whatever this, candy is or whatever, let's say, well, what is that craving saying that you have a lacking of in minerals, right? Or vitamins? Let's find an alternative. So it's being the level-headed one. And there's beauty in the genders in terms of our differences with regard to, operating this thing. Why? Because there's going to be some emotions involved and hormones are changing regularly when a woman's pregnant, right? Absolutely. And so the man needs to be someone that is going to be able to be steadfast and follow through with her plans and her desires, and then also what's best for the family. So that's the, lead up to the birth. And then at the end, and I'm answering your question, in this way, so that if you don't ask the other questions, I'm gonna get to it. There's the postpartum process, right? Which can last up to 2 years.
Yeah.
It's making sure that everything is in place so that the healing of the mother and the development of the baby goes smoothly. That's my role.
Absolutely.
It's big. And any man not doing it for a woman that's having his children, we think he's a loser and a lame and a buster and a mark, and we don't respect him. That's what we're telling everybody.
Yeah, it's the truth. Yeah, because that is the least that the partner can do. And I think it's a beautiful thing how well you support your wife. It is a beautiful thing watching y'all's family grow. Like, it's amazing. And I'm just really glad to have y'all on here. So this question is for Talise. Well, actually, either one, but both of you can answer. But Talise, I'd like to hear from you first. What do you think the biggest problem is in the Black community keeping us from home births? What do you think that is?
I think lack of exposure to it. And that is one of the reasons why I wrote my book, because when people would see me and count my children in the store, I'd be like, yeah, it's however many of them, and I had them all at home. And they'd be like, at home, we started a conversation.
Very good.
And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna read more. And so I was like, let me write a book, because that way I can extend the reach. And I also like to share my birth videos, which is another thing that I'm glad, especially Black women, have on YouTube, because 12, 13 years ago, when I had my first daughter, it was maybe 1 or 2 videos. And it's like, now you can just scroll and scroll and scroll.
Bunch. You encourage the whole lot of women.
And see it. Yes. And so on my Facebook and Instagram, Talise Home Birth Queen, I like to share as often as possible Black women home birthing and breastfeeding, because we just don't really see that. It's kind of like home birth, what is that? Like, some people still don't, like, they can't even imagine it, they haven't seen it. So just more exposure, I think, and letting, excuse the cows, letting other women see it, and telling other women, like, yeah, don't be shy about it, share your story.
Yes, absolutely. And do you vlog? Do you like do a day-to-day like vlog of your life? Look me throwing something out there. Do you vlog? Look, I like to be nosy.
Would you like to vlog? Well,
as you're homesteading, like you got a farm, like we want to see
we got the cows.
Yes, that's amazing. It's encouraging. It's motivating.
Yeah, maybe as the children get older, I might start vlogging. Right now, I have my son. He just turned 1, and it's 7 of them. Huh?
No vlogging going on. We don't even make no promises.
My husband is very demanding.
It's a lot going on.
It's a lot. So
I do want to answer that question though.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to hear your answer.
Yeah, and so I agree that exposure is something that is holding. What was the question? Black women back or Black people back? What was it?
Black families. What's stopping more Black families from birthing at home?
And I wanted to be specific with that, because I do believe Black families do need more exposure. I think also in that same vein, it is fear which holds Black families back.
Yeah.
And that fear is a deep-seated fear because it's coming from childhood. Very often children, even 9, 10, sometimes younger than that, 8 years old, they might see an episode of, Seinfeld or a sitcom or whatever, even something that's or a comedy show where a woman is hooping, hollering, screaming, cussing and fussing, and, breaking somebody's hand with a death grip, and all these type of things that instill in the minds of people that this is a very painful thing. This is a very dangerous thing, and that you're very likely to lose your life. And in reality, that's just not the truth, right?
Right.
America tries to make it difficult for people to talk about natural things and say, well, you can't talk about these things if you don't have my qualifications. I don't need anybody's qualifications to talk about something that naturally, right?
Naturally.
Nobody needs no qualifications to talk about, potty training somebody, right? That's a natural thing, right? And as natural as that is, that's exactly the level of nature that's involved with having a baby, right? And I think that people have been made afraid of that for, capitalistic reasons, for monetary gain, as well as to, keep a thumb on Black people and their reproductive freedoms. And so if that fear is overcome, I think it'll be done more and more often. Home birth is very safe. Based on the millennia that it's being done, hospitals are a new thing. And the sanitary practices of hospitals are very new as well. So I think more research should be done by those that are interested, but also to help eliminate that fear, teaching young children that this is how you have a baby. Yeah. In the same way that you do any other thing that's natural at home, giving birth is something to be done at home as well.
Right, right. Well, look, while I have you right now, can we expect any more? Are you all going to have any more children? Like she
I
laughed on that one.
wouldn't hold your breath if I was you. I wouldn't hold your breath.
Unless somebody hires me like a full time, I'm talking about top of the line nanny.
Manny, yes, I know that's right.
Yeah. I mean, anything in that, I'm not trying to get people's hopes up. We've been pregnant since we been married, just about since we've been married. So we now want to have some time to enjoy our children and enjoy each other. So
all my 30s, pregnant and breastfeeding.
Right. How long have you all been married?
15 years.
15. All right. Yeah. That is beautiful. Congratulations. I love it. I love it. Talise, I do have another question that I really, really want to touch on because you did bring it up about breastfeeding. What are the benefits in your eyes of breastfeeding?
Benefits of breastfeeding, they're great for the cows are loud.
He wants to get in. He wants to get in on this.
Right. Oh wait, I have to share this because we don't see this all the time. I know this is kind of off topic, but
we got an audience.
Yeah. But it's breastfeeding is very beneficial to the mother and the child. So a lot of times we talk about how we talk about how, it's healthy for the baby. Your breast milk is designed specifically for your baby. So as your baby is nursing, your body and your baby are exchanging information to say, okay, this is what your baby needs more of. If you're sick or your baby's sick, that your breast milk redesigns itself to say, okay, this is exactly what this baby and you as the mother needs. It helps keep the baby healthy. Because it has everything that the baby needs. It saves the mom money because it's free. It saves the mom the stress of having to, let me get the bottle, let me take the bottles and get this, and it costs this much. It's a shortage at the store. I have no shortage right here. There's no shortage happening. Right. And if there is, I know things that I can eat or drink to increase my supply and get it back up. So it also helps women with postpartum depression. So it keeps your mood joyful. Like I could be irritated with my other children and then I start breastfeeding and I'm like,
there you go. Bliss, total bliss. I totally agree.
It's just a great mood lifter and it's free. Like they were made to do that.
That's what they're here for.
Personally, I think my husband can testify. He likes how they look when they're full, and he thinks it's beautiful when I'm feeding and growing our children. So I think it's a win-win-win.
There you go. I couldn't agree with you more. I didn't have to wear a bra while I was breastfeeding. I was just,
hey,
looking good, right? But I totally agree with all the recalls with the milk and just all the uncertainties of what is this, what's in here. It is scary. It's pretty scary. And I know fenugreek was one of the things that I recommended my daughter use to increase her milk supply, and milk thistle. Are there any other herbs that you like that increase the milk?
I always did red raspberry tea, and my favorite thing that worked for me is oatmeal. Whether I was
oatmeal, yes, she did oatmeal a lot,
or just eating it every day. And luckily for me, I like oatmeal, so it was just.
And I'm gonna jump in here, right? I'm gonna jump in. This is important to talk about because as you're talking about the oatmeal and the different herbs and so forth, what I want people to understand is that the body is made to do this. So often I hear, the fears of women saying, "Am I producing enough milk?" If the baby is growing and the baby's cheeks are full, you're producing enough. There's really not a need to produce more milk. It's because you want to fill up a glass full of milk, of breast milk, doesn't mean that's what the baby needs.
Gotcha.
Really, it's not a lot to be eating that's specific outside of what you're already eating if you have a good diet or, just healthy eating choices generally. And so, we're not allowed to offer any suggestions on what's good for this or that, right? Again, we are on a public platform. So what we use is whatever she's mentioning, but I don't remember getting anything for saying, oh, this is for breast milk supply. I say, no, how you've been eating, right? And it's important to be healthy overall.
Right. Are you all like
and drinking lots of water?
What you saying?
Oh, I said, and just staying hydrated, because you'll find that you get super thirsty when you're breastfeeding. But because you're producing milk, water is very good. But go ahead.
Increasing that water. Yes. I was asking, are you on any particular diet? Are you vegetarian, pescatarian, vegan?
Yeah, well, we're sometimetarian. And that means, sometimes we eat something we ain't supposed to because we grew up in America. And we're just now, getting the proper understanding of the foods and its purpose in our bodies and how they work. Mm-hmm. However, I'm saying we trying our best to avoid all dead animals, right? And then with regard to home birth, breastfeeding, I want to make this known as well, because this is something that's overlooked. I'll hear often that when women are pregnant, they should be eating for 2. And that's just it's a myth, and at best, and at worst, it's a lie. Mm-hmm. If you look at my wife, and we can only talk about what we've done, she don't look like she had, 7 children, right? And so many times our women are suffering, and they have this postpartum depression because they don't like their body image, and they're, feeling a certain way about that. Well, this can be eliminated by getting that idea out of our minds that we're eating for 2. A fetus is not a person. It's not a grown person like you. Right. So you're not eating enough food for the little fetus as you are for yourself. Mm-hmm. As the fetus grows into a baby, the baby's not a full grown adult. You're not eating enough, food for a full grown adult as the baby, even at 9 months. Right. So when she was pregnant, she had 2 meals a day. After 16 years old, our family eats 1 meal a day. And that's just at this point. She's been pregnant and breastfeeding, like I say, since we've been together almost. So 2 meals a day, and that has grown our babies plenty, right? And it gives the babies the proper nutrients, etc. And that's really, really, really important, because also in terms of the baby's development and the mother's, I would say, maintaining health. Sometimes eating too much food is not good for the mother or the baby.
Right.
Growing too big and growing the baby too big, and then the baby's trying to come out, and it's busting things out the frame, and it's moving furniture around and knocking down walls. And now, you have a bigger issue than you would have had if you would have, not eaten so much.
Right.
Just eat again until you're full, right? You don't have to stuff yourself.
I'm gonna hit you. Sorry.
And
then you might have to address the issue of preeclampsia. Preeclampsia could play a role if you become a glutton, just overeating. Oh, I'm pregnant, so let me eat like a slob. Yeah, so I get it. And I totally agree with you.
And I want to say this real quick. My husband has a class for dads. So if you know someone, or when you share this, if you know a man that maybe you want a home birth and he still feels like, I don't know about that, you should definitely inbox us and go ahead and sign him up, because a lot of times, like we said, it's the lack of information. Yes. And that's what just keeps us. It's the fear of unknowing. But once you know things, then it's like, oh, that's it. Oh, okay.
That's it. Right. Well, let me get his tags. What is his, what's your Facebook, your IG, Arsallaan?
And if he doesn't want to share, they can always contact him through me.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you had like a website to sign up for the classes, or however you go about booking it.
Yeah, you go on TaliseHomebirthQueen.com. It has a list of all her classes, and the home birthing for dads consultations are on there, because it's not really a class, it's a consultation.
Gotcha.
And it's as often as people want it. I'll say it like that.
Okay.
I try to be respectful of everybody's language, right? And so whatever. Somebody want to talk to me about it, they can talk to me about it. You go to TaliseHomebirthQueen.com, and all the information is there on how to sign up for that.
Perfect. Thank you for that. And thank you for providing that. We need more men like you around to support their lady, through this. So Talise, your Facebook is Talise Homebirth Queen.
Yes. And my Instagram is at Talise the Homebirth Queen.
Okay, gotta get the at Talise the home birth queen. Make sure y'all get that in there. And the website.
It's TaliseHomeBirthQueen.com.
Okay, and there's the book, y'all.
There's the book.
Home is where the birth is. I can't wait to get mine. I'm so mad it didn't show up yet. I'm reading it, look like I'm about to have another one. But
come on. And you can get my book.
Girl, I'm 44.
Well, how old was Janet?
Look, that really ain't a factor. It really ain't. But I'm not having no more. I'm enjoying my grandbabies, girl. I'm for real.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yep, I got 4 grandbabies. So.
Oh, congratulations.
I can say I'm done. I can say I'm done. But it was a pleasure having y'all on. I wanna end with an affirmation. I have these best affirmation inspirational quotes for like 365 days. It says, always do what you are afraid to do. And that was by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Like, how does that resonate with you? Like, what does that mean? Always do what you are afraid to do.
Arsallaan, can you tell them about how the other side of fear? I don't want to missay it.
It's been said that everything that you desire is just on the other side of fear.
I like that.
So I interpret this particular quote, always do what you fear. I would say, you have a healthy respect for fear, but many times what we're fearing to do, we're already qualified to do.
There you go.
And if we overcome that fear, we'll find ourselves being more empowered, more confident, and more able to handle life's challenges in general. There's 2 different types of fears. There's a fear that you know that this is something you probably should really be afraid of, and then there's something that you're afraid of that you really don't need to be afraid of, because most fear comes from a lack of knowledge. So get the knowledge, and then after getting the knowledge, you still feel you shouldn't do it, then you probably should stay away. But I would do things, constantly be trying to overcome fears and grow in your confidence. That's how I would interpret that quote.
I love it. I couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you so much. Thank you for being able to attend. Thank you, Queen, for being here. I am too excited to let the people hear this interview. This is going to help a lot of families out. It's going to encourage a lot more people, more than you know, to go ahead and birth at home. So y'all make sure y'all get her book. Make sure you subscribe for more birth stories. We're going to be having a lot more coming out. A lot more people coming in telling their side and their firsthand accounts on birth. Thank you so much, Arsallaan. Thank you so much, Talise. I love y'all. Peace. I'm going to be in touch.
Thank you for having us. Peace.
Yes, ma'am. Talk to you soon, love.
All right. Peace.